Dating can feel unpredictable, even frustrating at times. You might wonder why some connections flourish while others fade, why rejection stings so much, and how to navigate relationships confidently instead of anxiety. But what if I told you there's a way to approach dating that removes the stress, the overthinking, and the emotional turmoil? Today's video will explore how Stoic philosophy can transform your dating life. By shifting your mindset, focusing on what you can control, and embracing resilience, you can stop fearing rejection, build genuine connections, and cultivate the kind of self-assurance that naturally attracts the right people. Stay with me until the end, because by the time we're done, you'll have the tools to date with clarity, strength, and inner peace, without letting the process define your self-worth. Let's dive in. 1. The Stoic approach to dating. Most men approach dating with expectations that set them up for disappointment. They chase the idea of a perfect relationship, fear rejection, and attach their self-worth to a woman's response. However, a man who embraces Stoicism sees dating differently. He understands that nothing is permanent, including relationships. Not every date will lead to love, and not every connection will last forever. Instead of seeing dating as a means to an end, he treats each interaction as an experience. He enjoys the process without worrying about the outcome. If things don't work out, he doesn't dwell on what could have been. He acknowledges the experience, takes the lesson, and moves forward without bitterness. One of the most significant sources of frustration in dating comes from trying to control what is uncontrollable. A Stoic man knows that he cannot dictate how a woman feels, how she responds, or whether she is attracted to him. What he can control is how he presents himself, how he responds to setbacks, and how he carries himself in any situation. This shift in mindset changes everything. Instead of obsessing over whether a woman likes him, he focuses on showing himself as the best version. If she is drawn to him, it is because of who he naturally is, not because he convinced her to feel a certain way. If she isn't interested, he doesn't take it personally. He does not chase, does not beg, and does not waste time analyzing what went wrong. He simply moves forward, knowing rejection is not a reflection of his worth, but rather a matter of compatibility. The ability to remain emotionally composed is one of a man's greatest strengths in dating. Many men allow their emotions to dictate their actions. They become anxious when she doesn't text back, overanalyze every word she says, or react impulsively when things don't go as planned. But a Stoic man remains steady. He doesn't let external circumstances shake his inner peace. If a woman cancels a date, he doesn't spiral into self-doubt. If she pulls away, he doesn't chase. He understands that attraction is not built on desperation or neediness, but on confidence and self-sufficiency. Before seeking love from another, a Stoic man ensures he has already cultivated self-love and inner peace. He does not look for a woman to complete him, or rely on a relationship to bring him happiness. His confidence comes from within, built through discipline, self-reflection, and continuous growth. He invests in himself, mentally, physically, and emotionally. He sets goals, follows his passions, and builds a life that is fulfilling on its own. When a man reaches this level of self-sufficiency, women sense it. They can tell when a man is genuinely content, is not desperate for approval, and does not need love but chooses it. This is what makes a Stoic man so attractive. He does not chase validation. He does not break under pressure. He does not allow rejection to shake his confidence. Instead, he moves through life with quiet strength, knowing he controls his happiness. If a woman enters his life, she is welcome, but if she leaves, he He remains unmoved. He does not beg, he does not cling, and he does not fear loss. And in that unshakable certainty, in that quiet power, he becomes irresistible. 2. Mastering first dates with a Stoic mindset. Most men step into a first date carrying a mental checklist: what to say, how to impress, how to avoid awkward moments. Their minds are cluttered with thoughts of what could go wrong or whether the date will lead to something meaningful. This constant overanalysis creates tension, making them appear nervous, unsure, or needy. But a man who embraces Stoicism moves differently. He understands that the key to a successful first date is presence, being fully engaged at the moment, unburdened by anxiety over what has happened or what may come next. He does not fixate on the past, replaying conversations in his head, nor does he project into the future, wondering if there will be a second date. Instead, he stays grounded, observing, listening, and allowing the interaction to unfold naturally. This ability to remain present puts him at ease and makes him more attractive. A woman can sense when a man is genuinely in the moment with her, and that presence creates an instant magnetic connection. The biggest mistake most men make is focusing too much on impressing rather than connecting. They try to say the right things, script their responses, or force humor in a way that feels unnatural. But a Stoic man knows that authenticity is far more potent than performance. He does not seek validation or approval. He simply expresses himself as he is. He does not fear silence or feel the need to fill every gap in conversation. Instead of trying to entertain, he focuses on engaging, asking thoughtful questions, genuinely listening, and responding naturally, rather than rehearsing a perfect reply. The more he embraces this mindset, the more effortless and enjoyable the date becomes. A Stoic man also understands that discomfort is inevitable. First dates can be awkward. Moments of silence will happen. He might feel nervous energy, but he does not resist it. Instead, he welcomes the discomfort as an opportunity to grow. He knows that confidence is not about never feeling nervous, it's about remaining composed despite it. Many men allow their discomfort to control them, leading to forced conversations, excessive self-consciousness, or even over-explaining themselves. But the man who masters his emotions remains steady. He does not apologize unnecessarily or overcompensate for a minor mistake. If he stumbles over his words, he laughs it off. He embraces silence rather than scrambling to fill the space if silence lingers. By doing so, he exudes a quiet strength, far more compelling than any rehearsed charm. One of the most overlooked yet powerful traits of a Stoic man is his ability to listen genuinely. Most men are so focused on what they should say next that they miss what is said. A Stoic man, however, understands that deep attraction is built not through talking but through listening. He does not interrupt, nor does he let his mind wander. He maintains steady eye contact, takes in her words, and asks follow-up questions that show genuine interest. This presence signals confidence, emotional intelligence, and a rare level of self-assurance. A woman feels heard, seen, and understood, not just as someone he is trying to win over, but as someone whose thoughts and experiences genuinely matter. A Stoic man sets himself apart in the dating world by mastering these principles. He eliminates the neediness that repels, the overanalyzing that creates awkwardness, and the approval-seeking that diminishes his value. He does not chase validation because he does not need it. He does not let fear dictate his actions because he knows rejection is a redirection. His emotions do not control him. Instead, he controls them. This quiet confidence shifts the dynamic. Rather than trying to impress, he naturally draws a woman in. Instead of feeling pressure to perform, he enjoys the experience for what it is. Whether the date leads to something more or not, he remains unaffected. He walks away the same man he was before, calm, grounded, and entirely in control of his reality, and in that unshakable certainty he becomes irresistibly attractive. 3. Navigating the emotional roller coaster. Most men fail in dating not because they lack looks, status, or charm, but because they lack emotional control. They allow their emotions to dictate their actions, making them reactive instead of composed, needy instead of self-assured, and impulsive instead of strategic. They let rejection shake their confidence, allow uncertainty to create anxiety, and react emotionally to create anxiety, and react emotionally to every slight shift in a woman's behavior. But a man who understands the power of emotional stability navigates dating with clarity, calmness, and control. He does not let the ups and downs of dating dictate his self-worth. He recognizes that external events do not cause distress, his interpretation of them does. If a woman doesn't respond to his message, he doesn't spiral into self-doubt or overanalyze her silence. He doesn't assume he wasn't good enough if she cancels plans. Instead, he pauses, evaluates the situation logically, and reminds himself that her actions reflect her circumstances, not his value. He remains grounded, unshaken, and in a position of power by controlling his emotions rather than being controlled by them. Anxiety in dating is often self-inflicted. When a man becomes overly invested in a single outcome, he experiences emotional turmoil at every setback. He reads too much into every text, fears that one misstep will ruin everything, and overthinks whether he is saying the right things. He creates unnecessary pressure, leading to self-sabotage. However, a man approaching dating with a Stoic mindset frees himself from this cycle. He understands that attraction is fluid and that no single interaction defines the course of a relationship. That rejection is not a personal failure but simply a matter of compatibility. He does not view rejection as a judgment of his worth, but as valuable feedback. If a woman pulls away, he does not chase, he does not plead, he does not linger in self-pity. He acknowledges reality and moves forward gracefully, knowing rejection redirects towards something better suited for him. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, he takes the lesson and refocuses on what he can control: his mindset, growth, and ability to create options rather than fixating on one person. Emotional control also means mastering the art of detachment. Many men sabotage themselves by becoming too emotionally attached too quickly. They invest too much in a woman they barely know, allowing their emotions to cloud their judgment. They tolerate disrespect, lower their standards, and abandon their boundaries to keep her interested. But a man with self-respect does not operate this way. He understands that true confidence comes from maintaining his standards, not from proving his worth to someone who does not appreciate it. If a woman is uninterested or inconsistent, he does not try harder, he lets go. He does not justify her actions if she disrespects him. He walks away. His value is non-negotiable. He does not beg for time, attention, or affection because he knows that attraction should flow naturally, not be forced. He prioritizes himself and his mission, refusing to let any single relationship define his happiness. The difference between a man who struggles in dating and a man who thrives lies in how he manages his emotions. A man who controls his emotions is impossible to manipulate. He does not seek validation from a woman, so he is not shaken when he doesn't receive it. He does not depend on her approval, so her indifference does not affect him. He moves through dating with quiet confidence, knowing he is always in control of his mindset and reaction, and in that control lies his power. When a man truly masters his emotions, he becomes unshakable. He no longer chases love. Love gravitates toward him. 4. Building a lasting connection. Attraction is what brings two people together, but it is shared values that determine whether they stay together. Many relationships start with intense chemistry, fueled by excitement and physical desire, yet deeper incompatibilities surface over time. A man who understands the nature of lasting love knows that passion alone is insufficient. True compatibility is not about fleeting emotions, but the long-term alignment of beliefs, principles, and life goals. He does not let temporary infatuation cloud his judgment. Instead, he observes, listens, and evaluates. Does this woman share his core values? Does she view life, family, ambition, and morality in a way that complements his own? If the answer is yes, he invests further. If the answer is no, he does not attempt to mold himself into someone he is not, nor does he try to change her. He accepts the truth and moves on without resentment. A strong relationship does not happen by chance. It is built on a communication foundation. Most men, however, assume their partner will intuitively understand their needs, desires, and expectations. They grow frustrated when things do not go as planned, blaming their partner for not meeting unspoken standards. This is a recipe for disappointment. A man who values emotional intelligence knows that clear, direct, and honest dialogue is the key to connection. He does not shy away from expressing himself. When something is important to him, he communicates it confidently, without fear of judgment or rejection. Likewise, he does not expect a woman to read his mind, nor does he rely on passive aggression or silence to make a point. Instead, he speaks with clarity, ensuring no room for misunderstanding. When conflict arises, as it inevitably does in any relationship, a Stoic man does not react emotionally. He does not lash out in anger, withdraw in cold silence, or allow his ego to dictate his behavior. Instead, he remains composed, processing the situation rationally before responding. He understands that arguments are not battles to be won, but opportunities to strengthen understanding. When he listens, he does so with the intent to understand, not merely to respond. His presence, stability, and ability to remain level-headed make him a man a woman can trust, someone she feels safe with, even in difficult moments. A woman feels most secure with a man who does not crumble under pressure, does not let emotions control him, and remains unwavering in his sense of self. Beyond communication, gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in any relationship. In the early stages of romance, appreciation flows effortlessly. Every shared moment feels special, and admiration comes naturally. But as time passes, many people take each other for granted. The things that once felt exciting become routine. The qualities that were once admired become expected. This is where most relationships weaken, not because the love is gone, but because gratitude has faded. A man who understands the value of appreciation does not allow this to happen. He consciously acknowledges the good in his partner, not just in grand dramatic moments, but in the small, everyday details. He expresses his gratitude for her presence, support, efforts, and qualities that make her unique. He does not wait for special occasions to show appreciation. Instead, he cultivates a mindset of recognizing and vocalizing what he values in her. At the same time, he does not idealize his relationship or expect perfection. He understands that love is not about finding someone without flaws, but appreciating and respecting someone despite them. He does not compare his partner to unrealistic fantasies or allow external influences to create dissatisfaction. Instead, he focuses on what is real, what is present, and the bond they have built together. A woman who feels genuinely valued and seen remains deeply connected to a man, not because of obligation, but because she knows she is cherished. A relationship built on shared values, honest communication, and consistent appreciation stands the test of time. It is not based on temporary highs or shallow attraction, but on a deep, unwavering foundation of respect, trust, and understanding. A man who embodies these principles does not fear losing a woman because he knows that genuine connection is not about possession, but alignment. He does not beg for love. He does not manipulate emotions, and he does not compromise his integrity to keep someone in his life. He simply moves confidently, knowing that when the right person aligns with him, the bond they build will be one of strength, stability, and enduring fulfillment. 5. Stoicism for a fulfilling love life. Most men enter relationships with unrealistic expectations, seeking validation, excitement, or security without understanding the more profound nature of connection. They chase beauty, status, or convenience, hoping that external factors will fulfill them. But the man who embraces Stoic wisdom knows that true satisfaction in love comes from meaningful connections, not fleeting desires. He does not enter relationships simply to avoid loneliness, boost his ego, or conform to societal pressures. Instead, he looks beyond surface-level attraction and seeks a woman whose values, intellect, and emotional depth align with his own. He does not settle for temporary pleasure, but invests in relationships that have the potential to grow, evolve, and bring lasting fulfillment. To build a meaningful connection, a Stoic man understands that love is not just about passion, but about shared purpose. He asks himself, does this person inspire me to be better? Can we build something strong together? Will our connection withstand time, change, and challenge? He does not let chemistry blind him to incompatibility, nor does he allow infatuation to override his sense of self. While attraction is essential, he prioritizes emotional depth, trust, and mutual respect. He is selective with his time and energy, knowing that a strong relationship requires more than just shared interests or fleeting excitement. It needs proper alignment. A Stoic man also understands that love, like life itself, is unpredictable. He does not attempt to control relationships or force outcomes. He accepts that not every connection will last forever and does not resist change when it arrives. He does not react with desperation when he meets resistance, clinging to what no longer serves him. Instead, he embraces the journey. He recognizes that love comes with highs and lows, and does not let disappointment shake his inner peace. If a woman pulls away, he does not chase. He does not dwell on what could have been if a relationship ended. He acknowledges the experience, extracts its lessons, and moves forward gracefully. The key to a fulfilling love life is patience. A Stoic man does not rush relationships or allow external pressures to dictate his romantic choices. He understands that real connections take time, and forcing intimacy only weakens its foundation. He resists the urge to demand certainty, knowing that attachment to specific outcomes leads to suffering. Instead of asking, "Where is this going?" he focuses on the present moment, enjoying getting to know someone without the anxiety of the future. This mindset allows him to remain calm, confident, and in control, rather than consumed by doubt or insecurity. But above all, he remains true to himself. He does not pretend to be someone he is not to win affection, nor does he compromise his values to keep a relationship. He understands that the most fulfilling love comes when both partners accept each other completely. A man who knows his worth does not chase those who do not appreciate him. He walks away from relationships that demand he change his core identity. He would rather be alone than be with someone who does not respect him for who he is. And because of that, he naturally attracts the right people into his life. Women who admire his confidence, integrity, and ability to stand firm in who he is. This is the essence of Stoic love. It is not about control, possession, or dependency. It is about deep connection, shared growth, and mutual respect. A man who follows this path does not fear loss or attach his happiness to another person. He finds fulfillment within himself, and because of that, the relationships he builds are stronger, more meaningful, and deeply rewarding. He does not love out of need, but out of choice. And in that choice, in that quiet confidence, he creates the kind of love that is truly worth having. At its core, dating, like life itself, is a journey filled with unpredictability, lessons, and moments of growth. The Stoic approach to relationships is not about tricks, strategies, or shortcuts to winning someone's affection. Instead, it's about cultivating emotional resilience, self-respect, and a mindset that allows you to move through the dating world confidently and clearly. Many struggle with rejection, overthinking, and the emotional turbulence of dating. But once you internalize Stoic principles, everything shifts. You understand that attraction, relationships, and even love are impermanent. Every interaction is simply an experience, something to learn from rather than cling to. You stop placing your happiness in the hands of others and instead build an unshakable foundation within yourself. You recognize that your true power lies not in trying to control how others feel about you, but in how you respond to life's uncertainties. You no longer chase affection, validation, or approval because you have found something more valuable: self-mastery. When you embody this philosophy, your entire energy changes. You become the person who naturally attracts meaningful connections, not by seeking them desperately, but by living authentically and purposefully. You set boundaries because you respect yourself, walk away from situations that don't serve you, and engage in relationships from a place of strength rather than neediness. And yes, rejection will still happen, but instead of seeing it as a personal failure, you will begin to view it as redirection. A relationship that didn't work out is not a loss. It's simply a door closing so that another, more aligned connection can take its place. Instead of feeling disheartened, you move forward with grace, knowing that true fulfillment comes from within, not external validation. So, as you continue your journey in dating and relationships, remember this: you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need to focus on what is within your control: your mindset, your actions, and your ability to show up as your best self. The right people will naturally gravitate toward you, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you fully embrace who you are. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you applied Stoic principles to your dating life? Have you experienced moments where letting go of expectations led to better outcomes? Share your experiences in the comments below. I'd love your thoughts. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you find value in this video. There's much more to explore regarding relationships, self-mastery, and living well. See you in the next one.